Now available on Tata Sky channel number 526.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Property Hotline on Magicbricks Now. This is India's first property channel. I'm Kavita Krishnan. Today we are answering all your questions related to buying, selling and investing in property with Ashwinder Raj Singh. Ashwinder is the CEO of Residential Services at JLL India. He joins me from Gurgaon. Ashwinder, welcome to the show. Let's get started. We have a caller who's already called in with a question. Yashwant, I'm told, has called in from Bengaluru. Yashwant, how can we help you?
Hi, thanks for the patch up with the real estate experts. So I'm looking for a 3 BHK in Mysore Road of Bangalore, and I have shortlisted the Brigade Panorama and Prestige Temple Bells. So it's for end use, or I might make it as an investment depending on my job location change in future. So I'm looking for a 3 BHK and my budget is 80 lakhs.
Okay.
So my question over here is that as you are aware, like we have a new rules coming up in Bangalore, the NGT rules, clearance between the lake and all those things. So I just wanted to know, like, because Temple Bells, the Prestige Temple Bells is right beside the Nala. So just wanted to know whether it got a clearance of that, or is it applicable for only the new projects? So that is a worrying factor for me.
Right. Two questions over there, Ashwinder. One is he's chosen two projects, one by Prestige and one by Brigade. He wants to know which one should he choose. He also wants to know how will the new NGT ruling impact him, because he is looking to Prestige Temple Bells is one of the projects he shortlisted, and this is built on the drainage network. So should he be investing in something like this? Will the law be implemented with retrospective effect, is what he wants to know.
Both the choices for Yashwant seem to be good. Both are established developers of Bangalore. Both have a reputation of delivery. Both have a reputation of good construction quality. So it depends on him. He should visit both the projects, see the site, see the specifications, amenities, and he can decide between either of them. I would recommend, I would have unbiased opinion for both of them from a choice of product. And because of the background that these two developers have, I'm sure their licenses and all the requirements would be in place. But if at all he has all the right to go and have a discussion with the developer and see the documents himself, talk to somebody senior, and both these developers are pretty open in discussing these things, I don't think he will have an issue. So he should, in best, talk to both the developers or talk to the developer where he is shortlisted, and he will get his answer. To my mind, their licenses and other formalities should be in place.
License and formalities should be in place. Both are very reputed developers, but like we keep saying on the channel, it never hurts to ask a question, and this is a huge investment you're making. So if you do choose to buy into any of these projects, ensure, ask all the questions that you want of the developers, ensure that you get your answers, ensure that you are shown all the necessary papers, and only then, and once you get those papers actually checked, vetted by a legal consultant, only then should you actually go ahead and sign on the dotted line. With that, let's take an email query next. Bibhuti Bhushan has written in, he wants to buy a 2 BHK flat in central Noida. Now, his budget is 40 lakh rupees. He shortlisted Express Zenith at Sector 77 and Ames Max Gardenia Golf City at Sector 75. Now, he wants to know more about both the developers. He asks if he should continue with the purchase or if there are better options. He also wants to know if this area will see further price correction in another 1 or 2 years. Now, Ashwinder, prices across Noida have stayed flat in the last couple of years. But do you expect any more correction, or do you think the market will turn around now?
See, Kavita, I feel that it's like, I don't think there can be any further correction. There is a correction. If you look at a longer term perspective, they haven't been stagnant. Corrections have been happening on a deal-to-deal basis. I feel there are corrections to the tune of 20 to 25%, depending on the project and the state of the project and the developer. So, it is a good time to buy. You can never time the market. You can never figure out when the markets are going to bottom out. But if it is an end-use, decision, you should just go ahead and invest or take a decision to buy, because I think the markets have bottomed out, and I expect a recovery to happen between 4 to 6 quarters, because there are macro indicators. If you see affordable housing numbers are going up, it is the luxury and the premium which is still not going up. And 4 to 6 quarters, I think supply and demand is going to match, and we will see some uptake happening, year and a half.
If you are looking at your screen right now, we are showing you charts of the prices in these two locations. Sector 77 prices average around 5,440 rupees per square foot. Sector 75, meanwhile, is priced a little more affordably priced. It's averaging around 3,226 rupees per square foot. And like Ashwinder said, prices have been flat in the last couple of years. Ashwinder, also, I want to get your view on what you just said. You said that you expect, you're saying that the markets have bottomed out, and you're saying that in another 4 to 6 quarters, if I am right, you said that you expect a recovery. Now, what does that essentially mean for the home buyer? Are you saying here that the next 4 to 6 quarters is a good time? If you are an end user, is this the time that you should be buying your house? Possibly after that you will see prices going up. Is that what you're trying to say here?
Absolutely, Kavita, because, the markets have been softer now for the last 2 years, and, there have been various reasons for it. One is the sentiment, second is many deliveries did not happen, there was a trust deficit, there has been a huge supply and demand mismatch in NCR, especially in Gurgaon, but a little bit of that has spilled over in Noida also. So, if you look at the new launches, they have been down. But in the last 1 quarter, I've been seeing some uptake on the new launches in the affordable sector, at least even on the absorption data, I see that the affordable segment has been picking up because people have started taking decision. So now if that is the case, and if the premium and the other sectors kind of lag, I don't see the lag can be more than 4 to 6 quarters. And because new supply is not coming in, there will be a time when supply demand will match, and that is where the economics starts working, and you start seeing some favorable uptake, and people start seeing some good environment to start investing in real estate, especially apartments.
Let's move on. Swati has written in, Ashwinder, this is about a property that she plans to buy in Bengaluru. Her budget is 60 to 70 lakh rupees. She's shortlisted assets 360 degrees, Legacy, Salarpuria, Cadenza and Niku Homes. Now she says that this is both for investment and end use. So which one should she opt for?
Assets is a pre-launch, so assets is a pure investment product, and the other 3 projects that she has been mentioning and the developers, I think their construction is anywhere between 60 to 80%. So it depends on what she wants. When does she want to move in? Is it pure investment? All of them are fine from an investment perspective also. But if she plans to invest and also stay in them, other than assets, those 3 developments are fine. Depends on the location, preferences, what she has, and she can go ahead and take her decision.
So essentially, Swati, what you need to do is first, you need to sit down and decide how much risk you're willing to take. If you are willing to take a lot of risk, then you can probably look at a pre-launch project or a project that is just launched. Or else if you feel safer, getting into a product that is more closer to possession, then you should go for that. That is if your risk profile, as we say, if your risk appetite is on the lesser side. But like Ashwinder said, all the 4 projects are equally good. You also need to figure out which location particularly are you looking at. Ashwinder, also based on these 4 projects that she has chosen, which would be a better bet purely in terms of the location?
See, according to me, I don't have any particular biases in Bangalore, but north and east part of Bangalore are upcoming places, and I think they have a little edge over the other, locations in Bangalore.
North and East Bangalore, would you want to name any specific locations that viewers could look at?
No, it really depends, it really depends, Kavita, because, these are big micro markets. There are good locations, there are good micro markets within these places. So viewers have to go check in, figure out, is it near their, is it near the school of their children? Do they want it near their workplace? What is it that they're looking at? What kind of infrastructure they are looking at? What kind of budgets they are looking at? So, as a right advisor and a consultant, it is my duty not to give them, overarching views and tell them this is the particular location, because, homes are a very personal choice and depends on various reasons why you want to choose a particular location. So broadly, east and north, you have to go there, scout, figure out what are the projects, what level of construction are they in, what is the reason you want to buy in these locations, and then go ahead and take your decision.
So North and East Bangalore, good micro markets to invest into over there. But then, like Ashwinder said, you need to go there, you need to look at the projects and then shortlist and take a call as to where you want to put your money. Moving on, we have a question that's come in on email. Rajesh Iyer has booked a 3 BHK apartment in Godrej City, Panvel for around 90 lakh rupees in 2014. Now he's paid nearly 15 lakh rupees, but he says there has been no movement on the construction. Should he stay invested or should he sell? Now Ashwinder, there are quite a lot of complaints coming around out of the Panvel and especially the Naina area because of approvals being stuck over there. Now is this a place that he should continue to stay invested in?
So it's not to do more with the developer, but it has got to do more with the micro market. First of all, as you rightly said, Godrej is a great developer, good brand, great delivery record, good due diligence, high quality construction. Everything is in place. Whenever they have come out with projects where everything, all the licenses, it is in a more developed micro market. The sales have been better than the market. Now this particular project is a 150-acre project which is divided into phases, and apparently the first phase is already sold out. There's just limited inventory left in the 2-3 BHK units. So from a selling point, from a first phase point of view, the sales have happened. But yes, the issue is that in this particular project also, and like many other projects in Naina, the central government approvals are in place, but the approvals from Naina and CIDCO are not happening, and that is why these projects are in a limbo. Now when does this get corrected is anybody's guess. People are working on it. I don't know when is it going to finally get corrected. So right now this micro market leads to some confusion, and if at all there is an opportunity for the gentleman to sell this and liquidate from here and get into a more straight-jacketed micro market, I would suggest he should go ahead and do it. As far as the developer is concerned, there is nothing wrong with the developer or the project.
No issue with the brand over there, but because of that particular micro market, now Naina is a greenfield city that CIDCO is developing. There are a lot of issues right now with approvals over there. They are still getting their DP in place, the development plan in place. So it is going to take some time. So either stay there for the long haul, or like Ashwinder said, if you get a buyer, do look at the option of selling and moving out. Now, Ashwinder, Panvel, on the other hand, we've seen prices go up by 26% in the last 2 years. Prices are averaging around 5,900 odd rupees per square foot. Would you say Panvel is a better option that he could probably look at if he does manage to sell this property? Do you see prices further going up over there on the back of all the infrastructure development that is going to come into this region?
See, I think Panvel is a great place to invest, but as you said, the prices have already gone up, especially at a time where other places the prices were either going down or were stagnant. So I am not really very bullish that the prices are going to go up in the same way as they have gone up in the last 2 years. But yes, looking at the infrastructure, looking at the overall social development, the way jobs have kind of come up, the connectivity of Panvel, it being near to Pune, etc., looks like it is a great bet, and it will still give a 5% annual growth on the investments that people make. So yes, moving in to Panvel is definitely relatively a better choice.
Right, Rajesh. So if you can sell Naina and buy Panvel, that would be ideal for you, because Panvel you will have a wide variety of projects also that you can look at, both on the ready position and in the launch phase. But again, do your due diligence. But that's a market where you can expect at least 5% return on an annual basis. The charts that we're showing you, you can see prices have already gone up 26%, and a whole lot of infrastructure coming in over there. With that, let's take a quick break on Property Hotline. But you don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Ashwinder Raj Singh to answer all your questions related to buying, selling, and investing in property. So you keep those questions coming in. Welcome back. You're watching Property Hotline on Magicbricks Now with me, Kavita Krishnan. We're answering questions related to buying, selling, and investing in property. There's a question that's come in on our website. Ashwinder Rafiq has written in, and he plans to buy property in Dombivli. Now, his budget is 60 lakh rupees. He shortlisted Palava City and a project called Lakeview. Now, this is for end use. He says he wants possession by December 2016. Which one should he choose?
See, Palava City is not a small township. It goes into thousands of acres. It is one of the largest townships in that area. It is a good township. It is finally going to be, self-sufficient township from a security sense, from, retail, malls, hospitals, schools, all other amenities are going to be part of this township. So finally, when it is done, I think it will be a great place. So I would, have a bias towards Palava. Secondly, the connectivity from Palava, as far as central suburbs and Navi Mumbai is concerned, is also very well. So I would suggest that he should go ahead with Palava.
Go ahead with Palava is the verdict. However, you will have to check on which phase of Palava you are buying into if you do want to get possession by December 2016, because like Ashwinder pointed out, this is a massive township that is being developed, and it is being developed in phases. Also, very quickly, Ashwinder, if you could, shed some light on the Dombivli micro market. We are seeing prices have gone up 9% over here in the last 2 years. 5,912 rupees per square foot is what prices are averaging at over here. Now, we know that especially the Sheel Fata stretch on which Palava is located is also an area which the Maharashtra government has quite a few plans for, as far as infrastructure is concerned. How do you see this market performing over the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Kavita, all these micro markets have something, very consistent and common. They are near the main metro, whether it is Dombivli, whether it is Panvel. If you look at it, you forget about the name of the location. They are all micro markets which provide you affordable housing. They are all micro markets which have good connectivity, and your ability to reach Mumbai is very similar. And people in India want to buy their first house. So these are markets where the first time buyer is moving in. And because that is the biggest market and that is the biggest potential of the Indian residential sector. 80% of the real estate in India is residential. And these are the markets which will definitely do well because they are near the jobs. Even if it is 30, 40, 60 kilometers away, people don't mind traveling, especially near Mumbai. So I think these are great markets to be in.
Right, great markets to be in. And if you look at the recent reports that have come in, these are the markets that are also leading the recovery in a way of the real estate sector. This is where the buying has already started happening. So if you do want to buy into this price point, the time to move is probably now. We have a Pune question that's come up next on our website, www.mbnow.in. Uday Shetty wants to know how property prices in Pune will be affected by the proposed Pune Metro. Now, Ashwinder, this is clearly a Magicbricks Now viewer who's been regularly watching the channel because we've been talking a lot about the infrastructure property link. But Go ahead, please break it down for our viewer. How will property be impacted, and especially which areas in Pune should he look at investing into if he wants to benefit from the Pune Metro?
So a higher FSI of 4 has been proposed for 500 meters on both sides of the metro route. So that is a good thing and should be a boost for the residential and the commercial market near the influence zone. However, the Pune metro corridor runs from north to south corridor and touches central Pune. So it might not affect the current residential market trends as much because North Pune in itself is part of the developed corridor. So, it's somewhere in between. So overall it is a positive thing, but the way the metro is moving in, those corridors are already the preferred corridors and action is already there on those part of the city.
So not too much of a jump over there that you could actually expect in prices, because these are markets that are already doing very well. However, I mean, you will benefit, of course, from the increased connectivity and, of course, more supply coming in, because 4 FSI, like Ashwinder just told you, 4 FSI has been proposed in that area. So you should see a lot of supply coming in those markets as well. Rajan Mark has written in via email. He plans to buy a 3 BHK in Golf Course Road or in Golf Course Extension Road. His budget is 1.15 crore rupees. He wants either a ready possession property or one with expected possession in 12 months. This is for investment. He wants you to suggest some properties for him. He's also considering Ansal Essentia and Gurgaon and wants to know if this is a good option. Both are markets that are seeing a lot of activity, Ashwinder. Which would you recommend?
So both of them, have good opportunity, and Rajan, to my mind, has selected the right project. As Ansal Essentia is something that I would go with. Alternately, he can also visit IREO Uptown and MR MGF Palm Drive, which is in Sector 6, Gurgaon. He can view these 2 projects and also then have a option ready and then take the final decision. So these 3 properties kind of suit in his budget. And in case he can extend his budget, then he can also look at Bestech Parkview Next Spa, which is in Sector 67.
Right, and if you can look at your screen right now, you will see that all the properties which Ashwinder just called out, all of them are up on your screen. So these are also projects you can look at. However, remember, you will need to do your due diligence. You will need to check, run a check on all of these properties and then decide to buy or invest into them. Ashwinder, so staying with the Golf Course Road and the Golf Course Extension Road, now these are areas where we have seen quite a lot of project delays. Issues with permissions, etc. Is all of that changing? Is the pain over for this particular, for these particular micro markets? And also, we have seen prices, staying flat over there over the last 2 years. Do you expect this market also to recover, like you mentioned earlier in the show, in another 4 to 6 quarters?
So these are the 2 main micro markets of Gurgaon. One is Golf Course Road and the other is Golf Course Extension Road. I think the difference between these 2 roads is Golf Course Road is trading between anywhere between 12,000 to 15,000 depending on the project, and then there are some super luxury projects also there which trade at around 35,000 rupees per square feet. And then you have Golf Course Extension Road which trades anywhere between 8,000 to 11,000. Both these markets are marred by very low demand currently because there is a supply-demand mismatch. These are large apartments. The demand is coming in for smaller apartments. The average ticket size, even on a Golf Course Extension Road today, is not less than 1 crore or maybe 1.5 crore. So till the time this is sorted, I don't think the pain is over. However, there are certain end users who started taking decisions who were kind of delaying it for the last couple of years, I would say. So another couple of years, and I think that is when the pain is going to be over. But there are very few new launches happening here, so the new supply is not coming in, and I think the new demand will cover up for the existing supply. So let's wait for another couple of years to really things kind of calm down and we see some uptake on the return on investments.
Right, so you will need to stay invested for a long time to see some uptick, like Ashwinder said, on your ROI there. However, one quick question here, Ashwinder. would you suggest, like Rajan said, he is willing to wait up to 5 years for possession. Now, is that a good plan, especially in these particular markets where we're already seeing such a lot of delays?
See, in real estate, if you are looking at anything above 5 years, you are still optimistic. So earlier what was happening was, especially markets like Gurgaon had become very speculative, and people were trading, real estate properties like they trade scripts in the capital market. And that is the thing which got everybody into a big trouble. Keeping a 5-year horizon, as I said, in 2 years we should see a good, matching happening for the supply and demand. And a 5-year horizon is a good horizon to invest in real estate. You can't have a, lesser time than 5 years, but it is a good time to kind of look at the project, look at the developer, look at the past track record, look at what kind of deliveries the the developer has done earlier, and then go ahead. Because as I said earlier, branded developers have been meeting their promises, and if people have not stressed out, have not taken more loans and gone out in terms of greed and invested in real estate, they have only gained from it. So if we learn from our past mistakes, focus on the basics, I don't think you can go wrong, especially if you have a 5-year horizon.
Okay, you can't go wrong if you have a 5-year horizon, but focus on the basics. A final question comes in on our website from Surinder Bisht. He says he wants to buy 3 BHK flat in Greater Noida West or on NH24. He has a 50 to 60 lakh rupees budget. He can wait up to 5 years to get possession. Now, he wants you to suggest some good developers in this particular market.
Okay, so for Greater Noida West, you can choose from Gord 7th Venue, Gord City 2, 14th Avenue, Amrapali, Verona Heights, or Ajnara Lee Garden. If you want to opt for options on NH24, then you can choose from Mahagunpuram, Landcraft, Golf Links, or High Rise at Wave City and Aditya. So I think these options should be good enough for him to look at, go do his site visits, have a consultant with him, and then take an informed choice. 5 years is a good horizon.
With that, we've come to an end of today's episode of Property Hotline. That's all the time we have. However, you can keep sending in your questions. Ashwinder Raj Singh, thank you very much for joining us. And like I said, send in your questions, whether it's about investing in property, legal issues, tax issues, or even home finance questions. If you have a question, send them to us, and we will get them answered by the country's top experts. You can reach us on the IDs that are flashing on your screens right now. You can also personally tweet to me. I would love to hear from you. Stay tuned to Magicbricks Now.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.